As the parent of a kindergarten student, you're learning that it's very, very important to have your child practice their reading skills daily. And you're probably also learning that it's very important to pick certain books for your child to practice their reading skills daily, because as a kindergarten student, your child doesn't have all of the phonics skills that they need to read any book, not yet at least. They are learning their phonics skills one skill at a time in a very specific scope and sequence. And if you don't have books that go along with that scope and sequence, you're probably finding that it's difficult to have your child practice reading at home. Am I right? That is because most people don't have access to what we as teachers call decodable books. Now, decodable books are books that a child is able to read, they're able to decode, because they have learned all of the phonics skills necessary to decode the words in that book. You can't go to your local library and ask them, where's your decodable book section? Because they don't have one. Decodable books are very specific, used in education to teach children how to read. But once kids have a lot of phonics skills mastered, then they're usually able to read any book. But as the parent of a kindergartner, you're not there yet. Your child is still learning how to read, and they need those decodable books that just have words that they can decode, they can master, so they can feel confident and successful on their reading journey. So if you're looking for some decodable books that you can read with your child at home, keep watching, because I am going to share 3 different sets that I absolutely love that I know you're going to love too, that will be great options for you to work with your child. In case you don't know me, my name is Erin. I'm from littleselflearning.com. I'm a former classroom teacher. I also have my master's in early childhood education, and I spend my time teaching parents and other teachers how to teach kids to read correctly and effectively based on the science of reading. And that's what I'm sharing with you today, how you can help your child learn to read correctly using decodable books. So let me share with you my top 3 choices. Before I get out the books, let me remind you that your child has a lot of skills to master by the end of kindergarten. If you're not sure what those skills are, I do have a free download. This is the end of the year kindergarten literacy goals download. I'm going to leave a link down below. You can download this, and then you will be able to print it and see what your child should master by the time they leave kindergarten. So this is going to show you which skills your child should know, so that when you're picking decodable books, you know which words they should be able to read based on the skills that they know. So I'll leave a link down below. Make sure you grab this so you can see what your child is learning in kindergarten. The first set of decodable books that I love and wanted to share with you are the decodable books from Toddlers Can Read. Now, Toddlers Can Read has a wonderful Instagram account and YouTube channel that you should definitely check out when teaching your child how to read, so you can learn a lot of tips and tricks from him. His name is Spencer. Now, this set of decodable books is awesome. There are 12 of them, and they come in a very sturdy case, which is really helpful for parents. And as you can see, when you pull them out, each book is unique. It includes inclusive characters, which is great. And the words are all controlled, so that if your child is able to identify the letters and sounds that go along with the ones he's shown you, so in the back it shows you, your child needs to be able to know all of those sounds in order to read this book. If your child knows all of those sounds, then they should be able to read all of the words in this book with no problem. They're just going to be practicing their blending skills. So this is a really great set. It starts very simple, just 1 word per page. We have a couple of words per page, but this is also book 1. So this is in the beginning of your child's reading journey. They don't even need to know all of the letters of the alphabet before they read this book. They just need to know the letters that are listed in the back. So that's great. They also, if they needed to read any tricky words, which are the irregularly spelled high frequency words, such as the word the, those words would be listed here as well, so you could work on those with your child before they read the book. But this book doesn't have any of those words, which is great. So they're just working on the decoding very regularly spelled words. And then it also has a parent guide to help you if your child gets stuck, to give you some tips on what you should do to help them. So again, this is just book 1. But by the time we get all the way to book 12, we have a lot more complexity when it comes to the phonics skills. So even the title, swim, right here, this has a consonant cluster, which we also call blends. So when your child is ready, then they're able to progress to something a little bit more difficult. And you can see, that there's a lot more words on a page in book 12 than there were in book 1. And we also, same thing, have the letter sounds that are going to be in the book. So if your child knows these letter sounds, they'll be able to decode the words. And then these are the irregular high frequency words. So if your child knows these words, they'll be able to read all the words in the book. If they don't know some of these words, then you can definitely work on those words. I like to use the heart word method for teaching irregular words. I will link them down below so that your child can learn these in a way that is based on the science of reading and not just memorizing them as a whole word, because there's definitely a better way. And again, the tips on what to do if your child gets stuck. So, first set of books that I love, the Decodables from Toddlers Can Read. I will link them down below so you can check them out for yourself.
Pat, rat, pat can tap, rat can tap, pat can tap on rat, pat can tap, 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 pat and rat can tap, rat, sat, pat cannot, rat and pat sat. The end.
The second set of decodable books that I love is from Charge Mommy. Her name is Brooke, and she has decodable books that go along with each different phonics skill that your child is going to learn, not just in kindergarten, but also heading into first and second grade, which is great. So the red set that I have right here, she has one for each of the short vowels. So this is for short vowel U, and on the inside, she shows you all of the short vowel U words that are going to appear in the book. So you can work with your child on these words beforehand, or if you know they're able to blend all of those sounds, they can jump right in to read the book. She also lists the high frequency words that are going to appear in the story. So these, some of them are irregular, and if they are, you want to make sure that your child knows that word and you have taught them using the heart word method before they read this book. So for example, in this one, the word the is irregular. So we want to make sure that they know that word. So these books are also great illustrations, not too many words on a page since this is the beginning, the short vowel book. And so she has one book for each short vowel, but then she also has a book for each long vowel. So when your child is ready for that, this is the long vowel A book. Again, it is going to tell you the words that appear in the story and also the irregular words so that you can work on those before your child dives into this book. So the longer sentences, we have different punctuation at the end, which is great. She also has a set of books that have R blends in them. So if your child is working on blends, also we call those consonant clusters. Like for example, D-R-A-T, drat. That's really tricky because a lot of kids think it's J-R-A-T, but it's really D-R-A-T, drat. So they can work on their R blends with this set of books. She has a set of books for digraphs. So this one is the S-H-sh book. But again, each book set that she has, you will know the words that are in that book. So you can be able to work with your child on those words before they read the book. She has, R-controlled vowels, which your child is going to be learning about most likely in first grade. And then she has some more difficult endings, like for example, the J sound spelled with D-G-E at the end of a short vowel. So these books can grow with your child. They are not just for your child when your child is in kindergarten, they actually will grow with your child into first and second grade. She has multiple different sets on her website, so you can choose which sets you would like to start with. If your child is just learning short vowels, you can just start with the red short vowel set. And then as they learn more and more phonics skills, you can get more and more books depending on which skills they're working on. These I highly recommend, very easy for your child, for you to know where your child is and which books they should be reading and which ones they should be able to read on their own independently.
That is Pat. Pat had a hat, the hat was black. Pat had a cat, the cat was black. Pat had a mat, the mat was black. Pat had a black cat, and a black mat. Pat sat on the mat. The cat sat on Pat. The hat sat on the mat. The cat sat on the mat. Pat and the hat sat on the mat. Pat and the cat sat on the mat. The hat and the cat sat on the mat. The cat sat on the hat. That cat.
And the last set of decodable books I recommend, you probably know them and maybe you love them or maybe you don't. But I do recommend the Bob books. And the reason I recommend the Bob books is because they are relatively inexpensive. They can be found everywhere. Amazon carries them. I've also seen them at Costco. You can get a great deal on them there. And the thing about Bob books, which many people don't like, are the illustrations. I personally don't think the illustrations are great, especially when we look back at what we just looked at with the Charge Mommy books and the Toddlers Can Read books. Those illustrations are wonderful and colorful and amazing. These illustrations, not so much, but I will say, I used these books to teach my son to read when he was 3, and that is because I didn't know about any of the other decodable book options. And he loved these books. Even though I didn't think they were the greatest, he thought they were very funny. He thought the illustrations were funny, so it totally worked. So you don't have to get the most eloquent, beautiful, perfect decodable books. Sometimes you can use what you have or what you have access to. And the Bob books are a great option. Now, in the Bob books, they do start very simple, just like all of our decodable books have. It shows you which sounds they're going to need to know for the book. And then this one just has 1 word or 2 words per page. So very simple. But then as you go on, they have different sets. And so this one comes from the second collection toward the end, book 13. And so this one is going to have longer sentences. It has some quotation marks in there, different punctuation. And so it definitely gets more complex that your child can grow into them. At the back, they do list the words, the short vowel words that are in the book, and also they call them sight words, but we know they're irregular high-frequency words are listed in the book as well, so you know what to work on with your child before they read that book, before they're able to read it on their own. So if all you can manage to get are Bob books, if you have access to them in some way, that is okay. They might not be the most colorful or everybody's favorite, but they will get the job done in a pinch.
Mac had a bag. The bag had a dog. Mac had a bag and a dog. Mag had a rag. Mac can tag Mag. Mac got the bag. Mag sat on the rag. Mag sat on the bag. On the bag. The end.
I hope this information was helpful for you today. Again, if you're not sure what your child should be learning in kindergarten or which decodable books to get because you're not sure which phonics skills they have learned, definitely check out this free download that tells you all of the kindergarten phonics skills your child should know by the end of kindergarten. And that way, you'll be able to choose the correct decodable sets to practice with your child. If your child is just in kindergarten, they're most likely not ready for some of those more advanced sets from Charge Mommy, like the R-controlled vowels or the tricky endings like DGE. So you'll want to know where your child is in their phonics development before you purchase decodable books. If you have any questions about anything I shared in today's video or anything else on my website, please visit me at littleslovelearning.com. You can also reach out on social media. I am active on Instagram and Facebook at Littles Love Learning Blog. If you send me a message, I will make sure to get back to you. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. I love helping you and supporting you on this journey to teach your child to read, and I want to make sure we do it correctly from the very beginning. Until the next video, have a great day. Bye.